What's up, YouTube? Dan the Anthology Man here with the first game on the chopping block. Another installment in the Dark Pictures anthology, Little Hope. Viewers of the channel know that I do enjoy these games for the most part. They have fun twists and choices and some genuine scares. The only actor I recognize from the main cast here is the guy from the "You're getting paid" meme. So, let's get into it. Full game spoilers ahead. So, we start the game off with an intro into a dysfunctional family from the 70s-ish. For the theatrical cut, we're playing as Anthony here, getting to meet some of the family members. Something is definitely wrong with the youngest sibling, who may or may not be demon-possessed. A fire breaks out and we confirm the deaths of the father, the mother, the oldest daughter, the oldest son, and the demon-possessed girl. We also get an ambiguous scene of Anthony where we don't know what happens. Yay! Now, back in the present day, a creepy bus driver crashes while on detour to a town called Little Hope. And hey, Supermassive recycled some actors here. Neat! And it looks like Megan was here to cause the crash. Funnily enough, the brand of bus is Ferryman. Wait. Does that mean that everyone is already dead and Little Hope is purgatory or a final trial to be redeemed to enter heaven? We then wake up and get our main cast, who all strangely look like the family that burned up. We have John, the older teacher who's a coward. Andrew, who seems like the group's base. Daniel, who is ruining my name, but at least he's got a good heart. Taylor, who looks like a modern woke bitch and is very selfish and dumb, just like real modern women. And Angela, an older lady who is also a student and is somehow even bitchier and a worse person than Taylor. Yay! What a terrible group! And my guide for trophies and collectibles makes a point to call out the song used in the scenes with the curator being Lacrimosa.
What does it mean?
So, after helping each other, we learn that the fog won't let us leave, and we have to work our way through everything in the town. We proceed through the town and learn why it's now a ghost town, while also learning about the witch hunts that happened in the past. Periodically, ghosts will grab us, and we see into the past, along with meeting a bunch of doppelgangers. Cool. Making our way through town, we get pieces and clues, revealing the Carter family was really bad as their closure of the factory, which gave most of the town their jobs, put everyone out of business, and that the town preacher was arrested on accounts of abuse, mainly towards children. Is that why the priest in the past is so fixated on the young girl? And why anyone who might know what he did gets tried for witchcraft? So, the gloop becomes finding a new area of the town, learning about the past of the 70s, get ghost snapped back to the 17th century, and meet doppelgangers and see the terrible witch hunt executions. At least, that's up until about the halfway point, when after the first execution, the demons show up and start hunting the current version of whoever was executed. Angela's demon is the drowned demon, which is terrifying, and has a great, gruesome way to murder Angela. Yeah, Angela deserved that. So now demons start coming out more in force, with the Ironworks demon being pretty scary and has a pretty brutal way of ending Daniel. While Taylor actually gets 2 demons, not at the same time though. See, depending on how 70s Taylor bites the dust, she either gets the burned demon who isn't that scary, but has a great murder technique, while the hanged demon is significantly creepier and way more terrifying. John just gets the broken demon as he was crushed to death, while Andrew gets nothing? Why doesn't Andrew get one? Once we make our way through the town, we end up at the same burned up house from the prologue and get a final confrontation where 17th century Andrew must tell the court to either investigate the priest or burn the doll. If the doll gets burned, we get a bad ending where everyone who survived till now gets gotten, and then we get the reveal. The only people in Little Hope were the 70s Taylor's boyfriend and Andrew, who was actually Anthony, the bus driver, this whole time. Yeah, the town kinda went Silent Hill on Anthony's past to help him understand and process the guilt, as the fire started in the kitchen was technically his fault. And Anthony processes this the only way he knows how. And hey, there's a trophy for having everyone die at the house, like in the prologue. After this, it was time for some cleanup, getting some miscellaneous trophies, keeping everyone alive for the best ending where everyone is kinda happy, and doing 2 more full playthroughs, both on the curator's cut for alternative scenes, where one playthrough only does head choices, while the other only does heart choices. Also, in movie night for one playthrough for the platinum. I didn't have many issues or glitches, though there were a lot more typos than I expected, and I had a funny zoom glitch in one scene. But I think this was one of the least interesting games in the anthology, as the choices and deaths weren't as meaningful, since technically none of the other characters exist. Most of the characters were unlikable with terrible dialogue all around, though there was some fun with the curator's cut for different sides of the ghost scene panics. So for the ranking, the platinum is like a 1.5 out of 10, like usual for this series, mainly due to the collectibles, while the game itself is only about an 80 out of 100, with a lack of memorable music or standout scenes, but it has some great death scenes, creepy monsters, and a story that hooks you the first time around, but isn't that great on any other subsequent playthrough. Also, the ending theme is a terrible cover of the intro song, and you can't skip the credits until after the terrible cover ends, which is a pain in the ass as the trophies won't pop until after the credits roll gets skipped and the preview for House of Ashes plays. So, like, subscribe, hype for more like this, stay tuned to see how Man of Medan holds up, Comment down below which death harmed you the most, and remember, only losers wouldn't suspect the priest in all instances, and only super losers would let themselves be witch hunted.
The legendary super skill of the Scythemeister! Witch Hunter!